All right. Welcome back to another episode of Light Skin Pod, number 38. We're getting there. A couple more till we get to 40. And today we have a good friend of mine, if you want to introduce yourself.
How we doing? I'm Bert. I'm a local here. I own a couple restaurants in town called the Social House. One in Hermantown, one in Canal Park. 40 years old. Been here my whole life. I love this city. And I've known Pez now for 5 years, 6 years maybe?
Yeah, something like that, about 6 years.
Long time.
Yeah.
Walked to the Hermantown store, got a man mosa, and fell in love with the man right after that.
That was
game over. Yeah, it was game over.
And we get into what a man mosa is too as we get along. So
yep.
We started off how we always do. Tell us about baby Bert, where you were born, growing up, stuff like that.
Born in Superior, Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. So I'm a Packers fan. Sorry, I apologize. He's ready to kick me out. He's ready to kick me out.
We're done.
Yeah, cut, get out. But yeah, I moved here when I was 10 years old. Went to Duluth East, where I graduated from, and then just fell in love with this city ever since. I've been a cheerleader for this area. That's why I've never left. I've had a lot of people who would be like, "You got to get out of here. You got to go to Minneapolis. You got to do this. Blah blah. You've done everything you can do in Duluth." And I love this city. Yeah. There's just something about it that has my heart, and so I choose to build businesses here and create opportunity and get involved in things like BERT-A-PALOOZA, which we can get into later.
We'll get into that too. I talked to Joe about BERT-A-PALOOZA a little bit.
Yeah, we got to try to bring that back. It was a time. But yeah, just I'm just a local guy here who loves this city, and I'm just excited to be here with you.
Yeah. What Not that there's a big difference, but we haven't had somebody on that was born in Superior and came over, I don't think. So was there for you a big difference, kind of, even though it's over the bridge, was it a difference going from Superior to Duluth? Just like friends and
what you did? 100%. There is a big difference between the two cities, which I think is weird. And I think at one time Superior was kind of looked at a little like we look down.
A little armpitish.
Yeah, a little armpit of the earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the bar scene's great.
Yeah,
and the people are great. And it's fun. But yeah, it was kind of stepping into almost like a different world when I played hockey growing up my whole life. And when I played in Superior, I was a pretty good player. And I was like,
you crushed that
and then I got into that Duluth program, and I was like, I'm awful.
Terrible.
I am awful. Yeah. Now I know why Duluth East beats us 13-0 every year. But yeah, it's great to see what Superior is doing as well. Yeah. I think that Superior is growing. I think they've kind of captured a little bit of the Duluth vibe, and they're trying to bring it over there with upscale food and some of the bars that they've done, and with Anchor blowing up and all that kind of stuff, which is great for that city and that community. I still have a lot of friends that live there, and I try to travel over there as much as I can. But yeah, it is different still.
Yeah,
like that Superior mindset and that Duluth mindset is very different. Not only with sports and everything, but it's I love what's going on over there. I like what's Mayor Payne. Yeah, I think Payne is. I think he's doing some really cool things, and I'm hoping some of that stuff kind of transfers over to Duluth as well in the future. Yeah. So I'm excited for both cities and growth. So I mean, they're fun in their aspects of their own. So it's sweet.
How many siblings do you have?
I have an older brother and a half sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old? How many years? How old are you?
I'm 41.
41. How old is your older brother?
43.
Okay. Close growing up?
Yeah, we were tight. We were thick as thieves, man. It was crazy. We come from a divorced family. So, and my mom, we grew up very poor. So, it was me and Greg kind of versus the world. She had like 2 or 3 jobs. She's going to provide for us. So, I could play hockey, and Greg could play basketball. We could do all these things. But we lived in a time where it was like, you're outside all day. When the street lights turn on, you're back in the house. You know what I mean? And she would know. The neighborhood was tight back then. It was all, everyone would talk to each other. It wasn't cell phone stuff. It was like communicate. So she'd go to the neighbor's house and be like, what time were they in the house? Because my real name's Matt. Not a lot of people know that. My real name's Matt. So they would say, what time were Matt and Greg inside the house? And they'd be like, it was dark. And it was right to it. She came up and the door was kicked down, and it was game over for us. But yeah, it was just they're great. My half sister still lives over there. Greg just got married. He's in Superior now. Yeah. So yeah, they're cool. They're fun. She's got a couple kids now. So
how if your mom asking, how old were you when your parents got divorced, or was that before?
Super young.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 4. Greg was 6, I believe.
Yep.
And then she met Mike, her current husband, and who brought us to Duluth.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's been interesting. It was a blessing in disguise. Like, I love the city of Duluth. The best people I've ever met were here. And I definitely wouldn't be who I am today without those two experiences. So, I mean, I'm grateful for it as much as it was terrible at the time. I'm very, very grateful for it.
So, graduating from East, did you ever think about, I'm gonna go away maybe to go to college or experience things, or did you always think I'm not going nowhere? I'm gonna just be locked in?
There was no plan. A one gap year of college turned into I'm never going to college.
Yeah.
I started working in the restaurant industry when I was young. My mom owns Uncle Louie's Café, so it was you're out of bed, you're working at 10 years old. Like we were washing dishes. There was, child slave labor was going on. I don't even know if I got paid.
Yeah, right.
I literally don't know if I got
People
paid.
showing up.
Yeah, so it was just
ate.
Yeah, like I got a free meal and I had soft hands for the dishes. So it was that's just how it was growing up for me, and I fell in love with the industry. It's the only thing I've ever known.
Yep.
So I'm very happy that my life path kind of took me into this.
Yeah.
I decided at like 13 or 14 years old, like this is what I'm going to do. The idea of college was great. All my friends went to college. I liked it, but they were all searching for their purpose. Where I think I kind of already knew what I wanted to do. My knowledge by the time I was 22 in the restaurant industry was pretty vast.
Yeah.
I waited a long time to decide to open one because I wanted to be ready, because the industries can be a nightmare. It's very, very difficult. So I wanted to make sure that I knew everything that I possibly could. I learned a lot from my mother, a lot of do's, a lot of don'ts. But that's, I'll give all credit to her with my work ethic.
Definitely.
There were days I didn't want to get, it was cold. I didn't want to get out of bed.
Yep.
My friends were playing football in the backyard and doing all these things. And, she's like, get dressed, it's time to go. It's time to go. Some days it was, I'm up at 5 a.m. because Louis opens up very, very early.
Yep. Has Uncle Louis always been in that location?
No, the first one was originally in Superior.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yep. The original was in Superior, and her business partner at the time, Penny, had taken it over after the previous one went back to Greece.
Okay.
So, and then they moved it to Duluth.
Got it. All right.
Yeah. So there was an original in Souptown.
Yep. And then from Superior is when it went on to 4th Street.
Yep.
Okay. So I think we first met there, if I remember. I think it was at Uncle Louis. Because somebody was saying, they got this French toast that's different. And I'm a French toast fiend.
The stuffed French toast.
Yeah. So I said, all right, we got to go try it. And I remember meeting you there. I walked in with, I might have been with Rick Sundstrom.
Okay.
Yeah,
that could be. Yeah.
And went and got the French toast. And now, I always go get French toast there. But it's a cool spot.
It created a cult following.
There's no joke at Uncle Louis. And if you don't get there early, you're waiting.
Yeah,
you're just locked in. And it is what
there's what I love about it. My mom is so old school that there's no system to that line. It's literally if you move out of that line, see ya. Someone, it's you know what I mean. Someone just steps up and takes it, and they just wait. It's crazy. There's no today in modern restaurants is a text system.
Yeah, exactly.
It's what I mean, a buzzer system and stuff. You literally just sit there in line and hope that someone's getting up quickly, because it doesn't matter if it's negative degrees up. People are still
they're
waiting,
and they're not sitting in their cars because they know better.
Oh yeah.
So what? How long has Social House been open?
We opened up in 2019.
Okay.
So it was here comes my dream, right? My whole life doing this, and we finally get it going. Things are starting to get a little better, and COVID hits.
Bam, yep.
And so here I am. I'm just holding this bag. I'm just oh my gosh! Now what? How will we survive? We have no bank account. We have nothing. We had no previous revenue stream in the previous years, so there was nothing really the government could do for us. They gave us a little help. With PPP loans and things like that. But we, there were people who were getting, say, the Grandma's Corporation were getting millions and millions of dollars. Where I think they gave us $27,000 to try to get through to our employees and try to keep them employed to do everything we can. They were getting their stimulus checks, obviously, but us as owners, we didn't get any of that stuff. Me and Marty personally, we didn't take any money. I said, we're going to sell cinnamon rolls and caramel rolls. That's what we're going to do. People can still walk in, they can grab them. So we ended up selling 200 and some cinnamon roll and caramel rolls a day. It kept the doors open, which was amazing. And there was that support small business vibe that was going on in Duluth at that time.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yep.
So I remember after we I thank the city and the people of Hermantown and Duluth that supported us and kept our doors open, because if that movement wouldn't have happened, man, I don't know how many restaurants would have been shut down.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
We would have been one of them. We had a great product. We had a great restaurant. We had a great location. The cinnamon rolls and caramel rolls. If you haven't had them, they're dynamite.
They're fire. And I don't even really eat them.
Yeah,
they're fire.
They're dynamite.
And when they fresh out the oven, that salt.
Yeah, they're dynamite.
It's tough. Yeah.
So it was weirdly a great exposure for us. But at the same time, every day me and my chef set up a TV and an Xbox and the serving area. We were just waiting for phone calls.
Yeah.
And, playing chill and just going all right or watching Netflix, hoping that people are going to call. And then at some point, the TV didn't get turned on because the phone was just ringing and people were starting to support us a ton with cinnamon rolls and caramel rolls, and then also some to-go stuff. So it was a scary time, but at the same time, it showed the adversity of myself, the restaurant, my employees.
Yep.
So and some of them are still there. 5 years later.
Which is dope. Every time there's certain people when I walk in. Pete. If Pete ain't there, most of the time I don't even want to be there.
Yeah.
But the people that you got to hire on to work at Social House is such a big reason. Other than yourself, is such a big reason I think that place is successful, because they're all super inviting.
Yeah.
Everybody cool. If they meet you once, they don't forget you. They don't.
Especially with Pete.
For sure. Yeah, they're just a locked-in staff. And it's my favorite place to go eat breakfast. Not just because the food good, but the experience, you know. And it's fun as hell. I love going. The Hermantown location is still my
of course.
favorite one for sure.
Yeah. For sure.
So downtown has been open for a little over a year now?
Yeah, like a year and a half.
Yep. Now, what was the decision to say, all right, it's time to get a second location?
Well, when we opened up Hermantown and we were off a highway, we had no foot traffic. It was kind of not an ideal location that you would want. We knew that a previous kitchen there. There were some people who knew about Farley's was there previous.
I heard Farley's, yeah.
So there were people that kind of knew that there was a restaurant there. So we kind of had that going for us.
Yep.
But there were challenges. We were like, okay, we're new. We don't know what this is going to be yet. We have an idea of the concept. We don't know if it'll fit in this location. There weren't a lot of restaurants in that area. Like Va Bene, or not Va Bene, but the pasta place that's up, what's it called? That was on London Road.
Valentini's.
Oh, Valentini's.
Yeah. Okay.
Valentini's hadn't been there yet. There was Skyline, the Chalet. Our whole idea of it was we wanted to be traditional American breakfast, but a little elevated. There was really nothing like that in the area. I went and tasted all the surrounding areas of breakfast that they had. And it wasn't their main staple of what they do. So I was like, okay, if we can do this right, I think we'll do very, very, very well here. And it turned out, that it was great.
For sure.
So then I go, okay, we have no foot traffic, we have whatever. I got a phone call from a friend that said, hey, we're not putting this on the market. Famous Dave's is done. This location will be open in November. All right, do you have any interest in it? And, me being from Duluth, I am incredibly romantic about Canal Park. And growing up and seeing it, if you had a restaurant in Canal Park, you've made it.
Yeah.
Right? You've made it. It's, arguably one of the highest foot traffic areas in Minnesota for 4 months out of the year.
Yep.
So when they called, I talked to my business partner, and I was like, hey, we have an opportunity here that no one else is getting offered. They want something new. They don't want another chain restaurant down there. They want something breakfast, something that isn't offered. Yeah. And his response is different than mine. He is a data-driven, one of the smartest entrepreneurs I've ever met in my life. He owns, multiple other businesses. And he goes, I don't know. And I was kind of blown away. What do you mean? This is Canal Park. This is like the pinnacle of Duluth. What are we talking about? And he goes, well, he's like, Duluth is difficult. He goes, I don't want to open up another business in Duluth. And I was shocked. Yeah. I didn't know it at the time, how difficult owning anything in Duluth can be with all the red tape. And for him, a man like him who's so entrepreneurial driven, to say that to me, I was like, man, what like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Like, how, but I other ways convinced him. It was a coin flip.
Yeah.
We literally made the decision on a coin flip.
Yeah.
And I won. And he goes, all right. He goes, this is going to be two things are going to happen here. He's like, this could be very successful, or this is going to be a very expensive lesson for you. He goes, I'm willing to take the ride with you. I trust this, what we have going. I think this is great. I think the social opportunity to grow and build into other locations. Do I think this is the right move? No. But I trust you, and let's go for a ride. He was right. He's right all the time. And it bothers me. But I've learned so much from him. It's crazy. But yeah, he was right. Not only do I now own a business in Canal Park, I live in Canal Park. And when you get down there, when you live there, you take your dogs for a walk, and you see the issues. You can do whatever. It has its problems. But I got a real good look under the hood, and it's not pretty. Yeah, it's not pretty. And there is some that I did not anticipate, and that is the people of Duluth have kind of turned their back on Canal Park. We have 81,000 people in the area, and 90% of them don't want to come to Canal Park.
I tell him that all the time, because he's kind of. Well, I mean, you've been here how many years now?
8.
Yeah, and I say for most of us, especially on the western part of Duluth, we don't ever go to Canal Park. No. Certainly not in the summer.
Yeah.
No, and there's and now that I'm invested in it, I really try to talk to people, and I'm like, why don't you want to go down there? And it's weird. It's the same. Well, it's just two kind of same answers. They go parking, and I'm like, well, in the wintertime, like, parking is free for the most part. I don't understand why the city. I don't understand why the city's making street parking not free anymore. It's again, they're handcuffing us again for businesses down there. And then the other thing is they say it's just not as safe as it once was. Which is, again, I do see it. I've had to kick the same multiple people out down there.
And I've been down there because I do a lot of liaison for the Canal Park Business Group when they come with the kids and stuff. Yeah. So I see it a lot. And going back to what Joe said, it took me a while and being fresh here, like I said, you just look, it's fun down here. It's a lot going on. I think for me, COVID changed a lot of that, especially with the sports garden leaving.
That's I was going to touch on. I can't believe it. That was big. It was huge because not having even that one night where you're bringing 500 college students into that area, now we're not even being thought about because they're not down there. Yeah. Or they could be down there having beers and then walking out and being like, oh, we got to go socialize tomorrow morning.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yep. So I think it was a huge kneecapping for us, which is just such a bummer. I mean, I have some ideas that I'd like to see implement. The problem is if we don't have an Andy Board on board, it's not going to make any movement. Because he was a giant part of Canal Park. He owns a lot of it. He owns a building that we are currently in. Some of the hotels, obviously all the grandmas of the Langes, the saloon, whatever. So, I would like to see that place become like a social zone where I think we talked about a little bit where you can do like open and carry, like everything's not guns, but not guns. Which is fine, which I'm okay with as well.
I was almost going to go down there.
Yeah.
Use an AR?
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, for alcohol, like, you should be able to, in plastic, like, walk around, bar hop. We should be able to have, like, concerts in our parking lots and things like that make it more inviting, that are different. And, it's just difficult. And I get it. I live down there, and I don't eat down there. Yeah. Which is sad to say that I'm asking people of Duluth to do something that I don't do myself because I've been to I've lived here. I've been to Old Chicago a million times. I've been to, and they're great. Yeah. They're great. They're great. But for me, it's like I can only eat the Peking Zing wings so many times before. So there's just, I would love to see some sort of infrastructure going on in Canal Park. There's nowhere to build, so I understand that. But like, even like the Park Point area, how long have you been here for?
My whole life.
Your whole life. Yeah. So I remember as a kid, one of like the funnest things that we used to do was we used to drive to end of Park Point, and they'd have soccer fields and all that stuff. So there'd be tournaments, and so you're right next to the beach. So you would hang out with them, then you'd go swim, and then you'd come back and play your next soccer game. We'd do all that kind of stuff. We'd play kickball. Like isn't that as like when we were in our early 20s, we would have beers and we'd play like adult kickball because it was maintained. It was like it was pretty nice.
Yeah.
And then I went down there, and it's everything's overgrown. No one's taking care of it, so there's no reason for anyone to go down there, especially like a family event. Yeah, you kind of go to the beach a little bit, but even the beach is like it needs to be raked.
Yeah.
It's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Well, and what I never understood either is, like, there's no boat parking down in Canal Park.
Agreed.
Like, all of us that up this river, put your boat in, go down. I mean, you go to Lake Vermilion, you go to anywhere. They have places to put your boat and get out and go enjoy the town or the area.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like that.
Yeah, me and Marty had talked about that. This has got to be the only place that, I mean, we have, I believe it's the largest freshwater beach in the world.
It is. Yeah. Largest freshwater sandbar in the world.
And there's no lakeside restaurants.
Yeah, cafes.
There's no like cafes. There's no nothing. There's, I mean, it's weird to me. I know that it's difficult because the way that it's been built, that it's all residential and there's. But I mean, even the beach house, like you could turn that place into just
something dope. Nice. It is
like
and it's
restaurant
just a
bar. It'd be so cool. You walk in there and the place hasn't been touched in
years
since I've been here.
Yeah.
I mean, 40
even
years.
behind your place or behind Grandma's, like, how come there's no docks?
Yeah,
People can get out and walk up and go.
Yeah, like Harborside, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah,
it's frustrating, and it's I've talked to a lot of people, a lot of business owners in this city. We all seem to have the same like arguments. It's like I don't like. I would love to go to a city council meeting or to anyone and say, would any of you put in 6 to 7 figures for a business in the Canal Park or downtown area? And if they say yes, they'd be lying.
Yeah,
they'd be lying. But yet they're trying to figure out all these ways to make it better.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I see all they're allocating a lot of money to the West End, which what they're doing is great. Believe me, hats off to Tom Hansen. He's doing great things, and I love it. I love what's going on out here. But it's like the jewel, right? It used to be Canal Park. That was the draw of Duluth, and it's falling apart. It's falling apart. Like there was a light post that had fallen down, and I don't think it got replaced for 2 years.
That was
Something
the
like
one that that was in front of the sports garden, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's one sports car. There's one across
I remember they
from,
pulled that down.
Yeah.
I was there.
I was
there that night.
After the national championship went.
I remember.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that was great.
It wasn't me on the pole. I'd say
it
was
wasn't,
fun, but it was fun.
Bert, but
yeah, it was fun when I was down in the area. I was down there. But yeah, like it's just even the benches are rotting away. I saw one yesterday that's completely broken. The light posts aren't being painted; they're all faded out. The boardwalk is none of the lights are working. They're all on or off. You don't know what's going on, and the more I sit here, it's just like for someone who's passionate about this city and wants to see it grow, West End is awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome, but we have to start bringing it to the downtown and Canal Park area.
Let me tell you. So I just had a conversation the other day. During Christmas time, if you go to Superior and you drive down Tower, there's lights.
It's beautiful
all the way down. And I was with one of my buddies that works for the city. I ain't gonna say his name, but he said, "Why don't we do this downtown or in Canal
all the time?"
And I remember thinking, just that draw alone. So when I go out, like on weekends, certain weekends I go out, a lot of times don't even think about going out in Duluth. I don't, especially Canal.
Yeah.
Now anyway, I would rather cross that bridge and go to Superior because one, it feels more inviting.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to do. Yes, there's a lot of different bars and stuff like that, but like the atmosphere is just so different.
I agree.
And it's fun, and they gear a lot towards their locals. And I appreciate Duluth in the sense where we like to bring tourists in and things like that. Whatever, cool, it's a great moneymaker. But we do miss out on such a big market of people that are here year round. That want things to do. And Duluth is also not kid friendly at all.
No.
We struggle, and I watch a lot of parents struggle to say, what do we do with our kids today or this weekend? Even downtown, you walk downtown, only a small section of downtown is even lively, and that's from the Duluth Coffee Company to Gray Salon. Just that area there, and there's even so much they can be doing there. I think our focus in the city right now, I think it wants to be business friendly. Problem is, everything is going towards housing.
Yeah.
And you hear so much of that conversation, and I get it. I appreciate that too, but I also see so many different housing projects going up and developments going up. And I just sat in a meeting with Katie from Union Gospel Mission. We're talking about their new building, and I'm seeing what Chum about to do and all these places for affordable housing. It's like, all right, these initiatives are there, the money's there, boom. Now, when are we going to focus on the business side?
Well, sure. This isn't. I don't want this to come off as like being a dick, but when you're building affordable housing, what are we drawing? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like we
question.
We need to bring people in that are bringing in an investment, right? Like there's a great line. It's like you don't put good money on bad investments, and that's what I feel like is happening in Canal Park and downtown and all that kind of stuff. There's no one who wants to put good money into that area.
Yeah, no.
There's no way. And and I believe me, affordable housing is great. I love it. But again, we want to draw on the people that are going to spend money
and build the economy. I get it. It's a real thing.
Right. We have to find a balance.
Yeah, you have to find a balance. Yeah.
And I don't think that balance is equalized right now. I think it's more like this. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, the hospital's great. I think it was a good thing. But it's a subsect of everything else. And like for me, I pay a tourism tax, and I go, where is that going? It's not going to Canal Park. It's not going where the tourism's going. What is going on? Where is this money? And I feel like that would be an answer. I don't know if they could give me that. I would actually be happy with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd be like, if you're paying tax in this area, the money should be spent in that area.
Well, and the visitors pay the tax too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't. Again, these are things that I'm not incredibly knowledge of. I mean, I was not a fan of Emily Larson. I did not like what she was doing. I did not like the policies implementing. I didn't think it helped the city of Duluth. I'm hoping Roger can do some good things. I like Roger as a person. I've met him a couple times.
Yep.
I think he's super nice. I don't. A lot of people that ask me, what is he doing? Where is he? What has he done? He's been here for almost a year now.
Yep.
What policies he implemented? And I don't know. And again, I try to stay up on local politics. I could probably be better at it, but I'm so focused on the business side of things. But and they obviously they do coincide with one another. But I mean, I don't know what Roger's done. I feel that sometimes our politicians are scared to make moves that are going to rattle the cages a little bit.
Yep. And I feel like that's what you need. Me and Joe talk about this a lot. Just like sometimes the idea of, getting in the government, politics and stuff. It sounds great until everybody wants change until it's time to change. That's a big thing. You hear, this needs to happen and this, and then you get somebody in there that really shakes shit up, and then it's a problem. And I know for myself, like, Joe's way more calm than I am. Like, he not going to go be super confrontational. He'll speak his mind when he need to. I'm the one though. I'm going let's go.
And I'm the same way. I'm willing to kick down a door for something that I'm willing to dig my heels into, and I'll fight for it. I just it just kind of sucks today because you can say one wrong thing that might be true.
Yeah, or just take it out of context.
True.
Yeah.
Or take it out of context. Yeah. And being a business owner, they want to end you.
Yeah.
Like it's game over. Even when I was talking to one of my managers, we had one on a great podcast today, like we're going to talk about Duluth and, blah, blah, and yeah. She goes, be good. It's like, you have a business. You don't, don't be you. She said.
Don't be you.
I'm like,
that's
I unfortunately am unapologetically myself sometimes. But it's like, I raise these things and I want to because I love this city.
Yeah.
And it's not the city that it was when I moved here. It's just, it's not.
Yeah.
And it's going in for me, a downward spiral, and someone's got to unravel it and catch it and push it back up. And I was hoping Roger would be that guy. I don't see that so far. But again, like, I don't know the position he's in. I don't know his day-to-day conversations. Yeah. I don't know if there's money for this. I don't like. You know what? I really liked Medved.
Derek.
Yeah,
he's a kid. He's a great kid. We had Derek on. Derek is a beautiful human.
Yeah, I think he's great. And he was on city council, right? Yep. And I think he had some really good ideas. He's clearly a successful business person, and he's got some good things. And he clearly, if you're going to go to city council, you care about the area. You know, I don't think you're doing it for any beneficial gain outside. Like, you want to help this city. Yep. And I don't know what happened to him, why he's not on there anymore. But I think that was a big loss. That I don't know if he just didn't want to do it anymore, or got tired of it. Maybe didn't see movement. Yep. You know, which I would see if you're fighting for something and you're moving an inch backwards. I'd be like, all right, you know, I'm done, because I think he had like more of a conservative, and I do think that the city is more progressive.
Yeah, for the most
part.
So
I feel like I would say the majority of our city council is kind of a little more progressive and liberal. So if you come out with, you know, like a business savvy idea that might like shake things up a little bit, but is overall better. They don't want that. They want the status quo. They want, like, and you know, the homeless problem. It's not great. There's, you know, when we talk about it all the time, it's like, how do we fix it? How do we manage it? And I mean, you want to do it in the most humanitarian way ever. You don't want to be a dick. You don't want to be an asshole. But when you're swinging a stick with your shirt off down at Canal Park on tourism, you know, and the cops showed up. This is a true story. I was walking my dog in the morning. He was, you know, clearly on some sort of substance and was all over the place yelling at little kids. And so they called the cops at Starbucks. I'm like, sweet. Okay. He's off the street. It's awesome. Middle of my day, I'm at work, and I see him at the Canal Park. I can see him across the thing with a stick, running around. And I'm like, this guy got picked up 2 hours ago. What is he doing out on the street?
Yeah, I'll tell you one. Here's what's interesting, and me kind of working in that field. Yes, I work mainly with kids, but we work with a lot of homeless people too, and just a lot of entities that do that kind of work. But being involved in so many different facets or areas, one thing you realize is, like, one, sometimes we try to handle a national problem on such a local level, and we can't. And we look at, oh, this is what's happened nationally. We need to bring this model here, and it's like, it doesn't work here, you know. Right. And a lot of times people don't want to. We talk about people don't want to offend, or, oh, that's not the right way to do it because they're not doing it this way. It's like, no, there are a lot of different ways and avenues to do it. That's why NYS, Neighborhood Youth Services exists, Boys and Girls Club exists, VYC. We don't do the same thing as everybody else. We do what works for our area and the people that we serve. And I wish sometimes, even when it comes to local politics, that we can handle local issues that way. Even when it comes to, like, homelessness, because so I sit on downtown Duluth board, and you know, we talk about homelessness a lot and just the issues that's going on downtown, and what can be scary about, you know, what's going to happen with the Chum and their big building, because people say, oh, is that going to bring more people down or whatever? All valid questions and everything. I mean, and they're great questions. But the real question is how do we manage this in a way that's best for the city, to grow economically, to help people get help, actually.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's the goal, right?
It is. Not just give them a place to sleep. How do we get them from A, maybe not to Z, but W, you know, to at least start? And we don't. And sometimes we pour so much money and time and energy into the same things that haven't been working for years, with the hope that, oh, maybe this time it'll work. No, it doesn't, and that's it never works. No. So switch it the fuck up. Then that's okay, and bring people to the table. This is another thing that bothers me. We have a lot of these conversations with people who know nothing about the subject. Right. You know, you only bring city council in, or you only bring the mayor, or certain people. No shot at them, but they're not homeless. They haven't really worked with that population.
And they've never been drug addicted. They don't have a mental health issue.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, these are
Right.
the people who need to be brought to the table to find real, tangible solutions for issues that are here,
Well, there's one thing that I think that, like, in with our government aid, it's so broad. But like, I don't know if this is a terrible thing to say or not, but like, why don't you have to pass a drug test to get your government aid? Mm-hmm. I don't understand that. Like, when I owned a house on 5th and 6th for a few years, and they were just taking their government aid and fucking spending it all on alcohol and drugs. I watched it every day, and they had 7 kids that living in this house, and none of them were taken care of. And it's just, for me, it's like, if you cut off their pipeline, but again, on the other hand, it's like, okay, then what do they do? Do they get desperate? Yeah. Do they get violent? Do they do, those are those questions that, there's no, you don't know what the risk is going to outweigh. Yeah. But it's like, for me, I always say, I go, why are we governmentally funding their alcohol and drug addiction? It doesn't make sense to me.
It's like the Clean Needle Project. I don't care who's listening. I voice this everywhere I go. I think it's insane.
It's crazy.
Insane to say, you want to do heroin? Cool. Let's give you a clean needle to do it with. Instead of saying, you're on heroin? Cool. Let's give you free services that can get you off of this drug. Why I pick up needles every single day outside of our youth center. And you know what they say? Clean needle exchange. On the needle. And I'm thinking, these are kids I'm working and that's a block away from us, I don't even let kids into the center if they're high. And I heard people say, well, where are they going to go? I said, if they really want to be here and they really get help, they'll come back. Yeah. And they'll come back sober. And we see it all the time. And the kids know. Now you got the kids who I used to scold for vaping and being high, to scold the new kids to come and say, oh, no, you can't come in here like that. That's what we want. Right. And if, like I said, if Band-Aids, I'm so sick of Band-Aids. I'm sick of them. If you aren't in the business to help somebody, get out of the way. Right.
I had an idea. Like, I don't know what the shape of the cozy building's in. You could probably light the thing on fire, because I'm sure it's just literally, there's a million tires on top of that building. But like, I know that there's a program or company that helps you like build these like shelters, and they can be very like nice. Like, my idea was kind of, okay, you build, it's like a hostel almost, but it has a commercial kitchen in the basement. You get teachers, professors, all those kind of stuff that are willing to help them get their GED or whatever that they need. People like myself, restaurant owners, we donate food, and that kitchen is full. It's stocked. The only way they can stay there, they stay there for free. You have to be clean, and you have to do 20 hours a week of city services, cleaning, going down, picking up garbage, doing all that kind of stuff, giving them a purpose, and at the same time giving them education and a meal.
That's too easy, though.
And we just spent $3.2 million on marketing agency out of Arizona. What are we doing? You want to spend money, clean up the area. You want to invite people to your house. You want them excited. You clean it up. You make it look nice. You improve it. You don't need to go market it, because then you market it and they get here and there's needles on the streets and there's homelessness waving around and we're going to spend $3.2 million on that. What are we doing?
And tourists, they don't owe any allegiance to Duluth.
No.
They come here. At all. You see a broken lamppost. You see a homeless man waving a stick. You're not coming back.
Yeah, no. And I'm talking shit. I'm talking hella shit, too. If I see that, especially like you said, you bring your family here, and you hear all the good things, and then you get to see what it's like. Oh, okay,
it's good from far, but far from good. You know what I mean? It's like, you can, like, look at the people who do like the video like house, like what they can do with those photos. They can make that house look amazing. You get inside, dude, this is
hotel room. I seen some Super 8 rooms. I said, oh shit.
It was important.
It's the Seaway Motel.
So it's for me, it doesn't make any sense why you allocate that money to that instead of just fixing the area. Because even like when I started the business in Hermantown, I didn't put any money into marketing. I said, I want organic, real growth. I want people to go talk about how great it is, instead of me being on a billboard being like, I'm the owner. Look how great this restaurant is. It's so good. You know, it was like, I want them to talk about it. That should be the mentality of Duluth. We already, people know it's here. You know the facts about it. You know it's beautiful. It has the opportunity to be great. And again, what they're doing out west is awesome. I love it. But then, you know, spending money on marketing instead of cleaning it up is crazy to me. It blows my mind. I think, I don't know who approves this stuff, but I mean, you could find people in this area that would probably do it for fucking free.
Dude, listen.
Who love this city. Like, if I had those talents, I would do it for fucking free.
I got kids now, or even parents that come to us and, that they get referred to us sometimes by like St. Louis County or the attorney's office, and they say, oh, they need X amount of hours of community service, or that I literally will bring kids up the Skyline, clean Skyline up, or some of these areas that I know are high traffic, and that's what they do. That's what we do for hours. And number one, it makes the kids appreciate it more. The people who live around it appreciate it more. And the people that spend the time in those areas that want to flick or throw a beer can out or whatever, to say, all right, we can't do that here because it looks nice here.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, it's, if we can invest more into us locally, I really do think like Duluth can become what we think it is.
For sure.
You know, or what everybody else thinks it is.
I think I think we waste a ton of money. Again, I think, what do we just give Spirit Mountain? Like $20 million, $22 million dollars?
We did it with Northland.
And we do it every year. It's a wasted investment. Sell it. Sell it. Privatize it. There is nothing done publicly that's better than private, because someone has skin in the game.
That's it.
If they fail, they fail. If Duluth does, they go, we'll just throw more money at it to keep it going. Sell it. I'm sure the Aspen Company, Icon, all them would love to purchase. Larry, the guy who owns Monolac.
Yep.
I'll tell you one thing. That is half the hill Spirit Mountain is, but it's way more fun.
Oh, yeah.
He did such a good job with that. He did such a good job with it. I think he would do something great with Spirit Mountain. He's got that fuck you money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where he could do it.
Yeah.
And if the city helped, gave him a few grants, did whatever, and the back end, it saves us a bunch of money as taxpayers. The golf courses. Lesser's been closed for how long now? But they pay to maintain it.
Yep, all the time.
What are we doing? What do we sell them? Sell them. Get them off the taxpayers' dollars. Just make sure that they have to be public courses. When they sign the agreement to buy the land or to buy the golf, they have to stay public. You know, I mean, I think that people would jump on it. And again, like, Inger's horribly mismanaged. It's I don't play there anymore. It's, you hit the ball and dust flies up behind it because it's just poorly done. And no offense to the greenskeepers or whatever. I know it's probably funding. It's probably, you know, you have this amount of budget. It needs this much water. It needs all that kind of stuff. I understand it. Get it off our back.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay for it anymore. We can allocate that money into so many better things, like cleaning it up.
Yeah. One thing I hope people can take from this is, like, these are us three, and just speaking of us three here, like, we are so invested in Duluth in many ways. You business, you do a lot of coaching and just community things. I do a lot of community things, and it's like, the issues we bring up aren't because we want to shit on the city.
No,
or point the finger
I love
at
this city.
Man, that's what it is. Like, and it's because we care about it so much. That's like, I would rather us bring it up than somebody who's ignorant to it all or does nothing to talk about. Because then my mom, like, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. You know, when you get people who do care, you know, and see these things every day. I wish we had more people in the city that would say, all right, hey, this is what we need to really bring as a whole to city council or anywhere in city hall, you know, and hopefully to start to see some movement on it, you know, or even get people like that in those seats that can start making those decisions.
Right. Like, business owners don't want to do it.
Yeah, no.
They just don't.
Like you said, if you know it's a risk to how you eat, you know, or the money that you need to make for yourself, nobody want to touch that. You know?
No, and I own a small business. I try running, and then it's a focal point of the campaign.
Right.
Like, he's just about business. He doesn't care about social issues. You know, so you're dogged on if you are a business owner. I mean, look what they did to Derek, too, when he ran.
I mean, from what I don't know if this is true, but I heard that he kind of got bullied out. And I don't know if that's true.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, the problem is
that's just what I heard.
You're working uphill. And I think that's Roger's problem, too. Okay, maybe we got somebody in there that is more, and we all have the same hope for Roger. But, I mean, look at these, you hear it all the time, like, entrenched bureaucrats. And that's what Duluth is full of. We focus on a lot of those issues. The city council is very progressive, so how do you battle against it? I think for the amount of time it took to build that out in the city, it's going to take that much time to sort of
reverse it. And I agree. I mean, and that's when people, and again, like, people, they'll bitch about any politician, so people bitch about Roger. And my thing is, like, dude, he's just stepping in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can't ask this guy to create waves when he's got 1 foot in the water.
Yeah. Nor do I want him to go that fast, because then are you doing it right? Or are you just trying to rush to check a box,
Right.
Or are you going to get railroaded out?
Right. You need, like, everything needs to be researched on risk. Like, it'd be great. It would be really nice if he would say, hey, you know what? Actually, like, go to the businesses and be like, hey, guys, we're going to meet this day at this spot. I just want to sit down and talk to you guys and talk about your concerns. Because the reality of it is, like, we'll all have his back. There's no question. If you care about this city, he's our mayor. We're going to have his back.
Yeah.
If it comes to, trying to do the right things, and sometimes the right thing isn't the easy thing, and normally that's how it is. Everything good you have to go through fear and being tough and being knocked down. And on the other side of that, like, there's that great saying is like, fear is a mile long but an inch deep. You know what I mean? You step into it and you find out, okay, this isn't that bad.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. Now you just got to walk and you got to go. So I think, and I hope for him that, like, he would want to, like, sit down with every business owner, because the fact that my business partner didn't want to open up in Duluth is very scary. Is very scary. This guy is like, boom, boom. He's always looking for an angle to create and another business and how he makes social house better and everything else. So it's something that, like, and he's never gonna be the guy to put, like, people don't even know that he owns the social house half the time, because he's just the guy at the desk. I'm the guy in front. He doesn't like to make waves. He likes to just do his thing. But he's a guy that, man, would benefit in, like, some area of sitting down and listening to. He's so fucking smart. But that's another scary thing, and I think sitting down with Roger and just being like, hey, like, this is kind of what we want to see. Let's try to make this work. We'll help you in any way, because even the rich people of this city, aren't wanting to invest, and it's a fucking bummer.
Yeah.
And we've mentioned this on the podcast before, but on the backside of that Costco deal, how they said it was the most difficult place to open in the world.
That is crazy.
Which is crazy. And I will tell you, opening up the Canal Park Social House, I mean, I signed, and I hope this doesn't get me in trouble now, but I signed the lease, and what we did in Hermantown was, as soon as I signed the lease, we were in there doing work. And that next day, I'm in there taking off all the shenanigans off the walls and all that kind of stuff, and doing a few things, and nothing obviously structural. I was by myself. And my architect comes over and he goes, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, what do you mean? I'm getting to work. I'm excited. Like, I want this place open ASAP.
Yep.
And he goes, you need to tip up your windows right now, because you don't have a demo permit. You still got to pay the city. And I go, demo permit? What are you talking about? I'm not doing any demo. And like, dude, you cannot touch this thing. You cannot do any work until you're authorized by the city. So we waited for weeks on that. I mean, the city alone cost us, I think, 14 weeks. So we had to open up the week of Grandma's Marathon in Canal Park.
Wow.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
As a trial run.
Dude, I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible.
You ready?
Yeah, like,
we're out of rolls.
Yeah, dude, we were out of glasses and all this stuff, and, like, we had no idea how this was going to go. I mean, talk about throwing yourself into the fire. Like, that's exactly what it was. And it was, the people were great. Everything was great. I looked at my staff afterwards. I go, this would be the worst day ever.
Yes.
It's only downhill from here, guys. Like, it's easy from here. We're all alive. We all survived. It's easy, but it's really frustrating when you have, like, your architect, your master plumber, your master electrician, who you hire to do all these things, and then they inspect it, and then you got to wait for the city to come and inspect their work, and it's just like, this guy is a professional.
He's licensed.
And if this place starts on fire, it's on me. Even if you inspect and the light's on fire, you're not liable. So what the fuck are we talking about here? What are we doing? And it has to fit into their schedule. And for us to do one thing, something has to be done for the next thing, like the electrician, the plumbing, the whatever. So you wait. When we're getting calls from our contractors being like, dude, we're ready to go. And it's like, man, you can't get started yet.
Yeah.
We have all this stuff, all this red tape that we have to jump through, where it's to the point, it's just like, take your hands off the wheel, city. Let us do our thing. Yep. And then, but I feel like they just want their hands in your pockets at all times. Like for grandmas, we wanted to do a little outdoor event in our parking lot, and we had to get all this licensing for it, and all we had to pay this money, and we had to do all this shit, and we had to wait. Which they're pretty quick with that, which was nice. But then you have to have police officers there, and they want $150 to $200 an hour.
Yeah.
And it's fucking crazy to me that I could hire Dexter for half that price, who's going to do the same exact thing, check IDs, make sure it's 21, and if something does happen, you call the police.
That's it, simple.
You know what I mean? And they should be there, right? So it's crazy to me that they don't let business owners be business owners. There's constant oversight, and in reality, it hurts people. Like, I'll be honest, I don't want to open up another business in Duluth.
And they don't let residents be residents either.
That's the truth. Oh my gosh!
When I was campaigning, I would walk neighborhoods, and the amount of times like people would be working on their deck, or had just finished their deck and said, I didn't get a permit for this.
Oh, yeah.
Because the same thing. You try to be a resident in the city.
Well, I wanted to buy, there was a property on Park Point, and I wanted to buy an investment property. I wanted to make it into an Airbnb. It would have been perfect. And I called my buddy, I think it's the Planning Commission, who handles the Airbnb license. And I go, hey, I'm looking at a property on Park Point. I want to purchase it. I just want to make sure that I can lock in an Airbnb within the next year license. And he just started laughing. He goes, dude, 6 years, maybe. He goes, there's 176 available Airbnb licenses. I believe that's if it's like a waterfront area, like something around the water. And he's like, there's like 1,500 people that are on the list to get it.
That's crazy.
I go, this is madness to me. And then I started looking into it deeper, and I go, well, no wonder why hotels can charge $500 a night down here.
Yep.
There's no competition.
None.
Zero. None. They don't even allow you to have competition. Competition creates everything. The first LASIK eye surgery was like $5,000 an eye. And because competition, now it's down to like a couple $100.
And also there's a lot of people now that just want to do like VRBO or Airbnb.
For sure.
So you're repelling them people from even visiting.
I got a lot of friends, even from Minneapolis, that will not come up here.
100%.
Like they won't come up if they don't have a friend to stay with, or because you look at some of these prices that's in Canal, which that's close to everything, so everybody wants to stay there. I get $150, $200 a night. My buddy came up the other day, and I said, well, what was your rooms look like? And I was home, so he was staying with me. He's like, dude, they were like $350. In Canal, it's like off season. It was insane. So then people stay up by the mall, and then when they up there, a lot of people don't even want to come down at that point. They're like, man, is there anything to do up here? So I'm like, hell no.
Right.
So,
well, and then there's a height restriction in hotels. They won't let them build up.
Yeah.
So, and explain that to me. Like, the DeWitt Sites building is like, I don't know how many stories that is. 10 or 12 stories.
Is...
Well, the hospital, which, by the way, blocks the view of the lake from the residents, which makes their property value go down. But you're not going to let hotels build so they can bring down their price of rooms to make it more affordable, bring more people into the area. I mean, you can't see the lake from the other side of the street anyways. Like, who cares? Like, there are just these type of things that just don't make sense to me. The common sense of it is just gone. And I think that the owners of the hotels would be like, yeah, dude, I would love to put 3 more floors up and bring the price down.
Yeah.
Why
Because at the end of the day, it's going to even out anyway.
It's going to make no
And
money.
nothing against them hotels. I mean, they're beautiful. We were just at Pure B. I mean...
Oh, Pure B is gorgeous.
That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But and I'm not, the Hampton and the Island Lake, or the Experian and the... I mean, they've been there for...
Yeah.
And it's not like they're like awesome.
Yeah,
You know
they're
what
like,
I mean?
and I don't know, I don't even want to make them that, but it's like a Holiday Inn or a Holiday,
Yeah,
Holiday Express.
For
It's,
sure.
it's a hotel. I
It's
mean,
a hotel.
Peary is different. It's
It ain't
an
the W.
experience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but for $500 a night, like you go stay at the Hewitt in Minneapolis, which is gorgeous,
and you close to everything.
gorgeous. Yeah, and it's $300. You know, sometimes on weekends, it can be
Duluth
like
bougie
$400.
as hell. Duluth is bougie for a place with a lift.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But for me, I just feel like the city needs to be run like a business. You know, what's going to create an ROI? You know, what are going to make people spend money? What's you know, and it just for me, I don't think it's being looked at that way. I think it's just kind of like we're just sticking to the status quo. We're just going to stay here. You know, which is super unfortunate, but. There's so much potential here. I look like I have my friends that I don't know if you ever met Stefan. I travel the world a bunch, and I talk about this place over there all the time because I've been to like some beautiful places, and I'm like Duluth is on par. It's gorgeous, and when they fly over here, if they come to visit and they come down Thompson Hill from Minneapolis, they're like, dude,
oh, it's the best view. It's beautiful.
They were like, this place is unbelievable, and I was like, yeah. I'm like, this is arguably one of the most beautiful places. In the country, and I feel like sometimes it's kind of being a little wasted in it, and it's so unfortunate. But like, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is.
Yeah.
The idea is I think is get all the people in the area to get together. I don't think it's going to be one person that's going to do it. I don't think it's going to be one city council. I don't think it's going to be one mayor. I think it has to be the entire community. And sometimes we have to look at the hard truth and just say, "This is it."
Yeah, let's speak about the facts of it, not emotionally what's the issues, or if we can just, because I think everybody could agree, if you go to the black and white issues, you hear from everybody. And that's when all right, this really is a problem. I got hope for sure.
That's I just think we just got to bring it back to a more fun environment.
That's it.
I think we need to get the sports garden going. I think we need to bring Berto-palooza
back. We was talking to Sandy Hall. He was mentioning on here that he was thinking about, and still thinking about, putting the club on that building on top of the silos.
Oh,
and I said, dude, the day you do that, I will be dancer number one on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, keep me posted.
I mean, it would be sweet.
Yeah. We need that kind of stuff. We don't have any. The Rex is going.
Yeah.
Like you said, sports garden is going. There's really, the only place to really go dance, other than Superior, which I hate going over to that spot.
Builders,
can't stand Builders.
Yeah.
Is the Flame downtown?
Right.
But you can't walk in it.
Yeah,
you can't breathe.
So there's clearly a necessity for it. There's a want for it, and it really sucks that the garden's gone. I mean, it's so funny because I have these. I have college students that work for me that they never got to experience it. I'm like, oh, you guys don't even know. I went to a wedding there, and I was like, just flooded of memories. Like, I puked over there.
Long Island iced tea.
I had duct tape to my hand.
We had Brian Doherty on, and we talked about it.
Yeah.
And that was the one question I told him. I said, I want to know, why, and it was a business decision of it.
It wasn't making money.
Yeah,
it was hemorrhaging money. Unfortunately, which is it kind of stinks, and I think what they're doing now, I think is probably more appropriate. But what I would like to do is I would like to the third Saturday of every month. Yeah, I would love to put a show in there. And bring those kids back down there at least once a month. See how it goes. You know what I mean? And just bring because I like to dance. I like to have a good time. I peeling me off the dance floor is difficult at times.
Right here.
Especially have a couple whiskeys. It's
right there.
My inner MJ comes out and it's game over for everybody around me. But it's again, I agree with you. There's nowhere to do it anymore outside the Flame. And I'm old. I'm an older guy. You're not going to see me in there. As much as I want to dance, I'm too old to be in there. I'd be looked at like a weirdo. I get your. What are you doing here? Where's your kid at? What I mean? It's just kind of that. But I agree. There's a necessity for it. And again, the one thing that I told my mom at Uncle Louis is I said, you really got to capture the college students. So they never get older. it's one leaves, one comes in every year. It's an ebb and flow. So I'm like, if you can get those college students, you're going to thrive. Luckily, we captured that.
Yeah.
Like, we got that, and it's a great hangover spot. It's perfect.
Trust me.
It puts you right to bed.
Sunday I'm in there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't feel good. You feel it, and you go to bed, you feel a little better.
A
little better.
bit.
Yeah, a little better. You still hurt, but a little better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you got to get these college students involved in these kind of businesses, and it's different. They're different these days. Like, I remember I used to go to the garden of the bar at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. Yeah, we'd have a few beers, we'd have a few laughs. We'd be there like 9:30, 10 o'clock. I mean, these aren't going out till like 11:30.
Oh yeah,
like they're late goers.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I mean?
And they pregame at home.
And they pregame hard.
Yeah.
So like I know, like, I talked to my beer reps, and they're like, yeah, dude, liquor sales are down like 27%. Like, it's crazy. He's like, because the Up Bar used to be a really fun bar.
That was
the
fun.
2-for-1s.
Yeah.
It was great. Or $2 you call it, I think it was. And he's like, we used to drop off 12 kegs a week. And he's like, now we're dropping off 1. Like, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
Like 1 or 2 kegs. I mean,
Well, and kids don't even have keggers anymore.
No.
No,
We
not really.
always used to have
Darties are the thing. That's all people do is darties now. You know.
What's a dirty?
So
I don't
you
know.
Darties? All right. So let me say what's a darty for it.
Okay.
So
Apologize.
Yeah.
People that don't.
You just get a bunch of friends. You bring chairs. You sit in a circle, and you just get whatever you drink. A can though. It has to be a can.
Oh, you talking about beer darts?
Beer darts, yeah.
Yeah,
But
okay,
they just
yeah.
call them darty. I'm about to say,
they're
you know
called
what a
darties?
freaking
Oh,
darty
yeah,
is, but it's called
I've taken
darty.
many of those
You
to
know
the
this?
legs.
No, I
All right,
do
let me
not.
tell Joe because he don't do much.
Yeah.
So everybody got, well, not everybody got a dart, but there's probably 3 darts, 4 darts in a circle, and I'm trying to hit whoever's can, and wherever I hit it on the can is where you got to drink to.
To stop the leak.
Yeah, to stop the leak.
But
So if
but mind you, dude, this can is in between your feet.
yeah. So you can.
These are metal darts.
Oh, trust me, metal darts. I've been hit in the leg
I've
before.
pulled them out of my feet.
It is what it is. Like, you just go to work, and if they hit the top of it, you got to drink the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you just go until you come with a 12-pack. You ain't leaving until your 12-pack going. We're going to work. We're playing the game.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a great time. So.
Next summer podcast.
Yeah.
We're outside doing a darty.
That'd be fun as hell. Just talking on the pod.
Yeah, talking about doing a darty.
That'd be fun as hell.
That would be fun. But yeah, it's like, I think sometimes it would be cool to get our youth kind of involved in like the college students. Like, hey, what do you guys want to see here? You know, what do you want your college periods to be like? Because I mean, back in the day, it was. I mean, this is another thing about Duluth. It's crazy. If like you want to open a bar, it's like every day. Every bar has its day. Like, I don't know, when I was 21, it was like the Buena Vista was Monday, the Reef was Tuesday, Wednesday was Fickers, Thursday was Up Bar, Friday was First Street, Saturday was Garden.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Sunday was like the OP. You know what I mean? It's difficult. I would think to own a bar to have, like, I think Roscoe's does pretty.
Yeah, they do.
They do all right, but they got like a nice broad. You could be a college student in there and feel good.
Reef is the same way.
Yeah, and the Reef is bumping on Saturdays now.
Dude, I took my little brother to the Reef. It was jumping in there. Like, we had so much fun in the Reef, and they got pool tabs too. So it's like, I mean, you definitely locked in. But yeah, like you said, we used to have Mondays. I don't know what Mondays was, but Tuesday was Reef. Wednesdays was Lindo's. Then we go to the Rex.
Yeah,
Thursday,
Rexco Lindo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thursday Rex. Friday First Street. So everybody start off at what's the Irish Dublin's? Yeah, but then we walk up and go to the Flame. Then Saturday is
the Garden.
Garden, yeah.
We just
And
get buried at the Garden.
That's it. Then we pick a breakfast spot and Sunday we go to work. So.
Yeah. So that's like the difficult thing is like owning a bar is like, how do you, like in Minneapolis, there's so many people that you can have like, 4 days out of the week be good.
Yeah.
So it like for Jonna and Maddie at Owen Spurs,
yeah.
like if there's a snowstorm on a Friday and no one shows up, I mean, what a hit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There's no Saturday to recover your loss from Friday.
Oh, and now they want to go to Superior.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, they want to go to Superior.
I do not blame them. Back when I was Friday back in the day when it was Superior.
Yeah, because they had the Odyssey.
Oh my God! Do you remember what was the place that had the dollar shots? Do you remember that?
Stargate?
No, it had the leather shop next to it.
Oh, Frankie's.
Frankie's.
Yes.
Frankie's. $1 hot 100 shots.
Yes.
Oh, were they crazy?
Oh, you never saw Frankie's.
No.
Oh, Frankie's.
Dude, it was the best. It was the best. I would walk out there with a leather belt from the shop. It was wild.
Really?
It was so
And his owner, the owner was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
He would come out and sing at the end of the night. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Frankie's was dope. I mean, the one thing that I like about Superior that Duluth doesn't have is like everything is in one area.
Yes. And
it's kind of like a dinky town in the city, so you can walk everywhere. And I don't know what happened to Duluth with Ubers. Like pre-COVID, you can get an Uber.
You could. Yeah, it's hard.
Now
right
it's hard.
It's real hard. You can't even order Uber Eats around here right now. Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know why that took such a dive with all the college delivery. You think that would be?
And people from the cities used to drive here on Friday to work all weekend.
Yeah.
All of my Uber drivers that we used to have, they all lived in Minneapolis because they said we make more money here.
Yeah.
Because it's so much competition and there's nobody. So we're getting guys. They say they make $2,000-3,000 a night just Ubering in Duluth.
Yeah,
it's like crazy.
When you're the only guy, it's just nonstop, and nothing's far away. Yeah. Like Minneapolis, sometimes it's a 45-minute drive where your farthest, point is 15 minutes in Duluth. You know what I mean? Unless you're driving out to the trophy or something. But at night, you're not. You're going from the garden to the OP is. 16 minutes. You know what I mean? So it's a smart idea for them to come up here and just bang it out. But I love that about Superior, that they were just like, hey, this is going to be the road. Yeah. This is where everyone's going to be. And we just walk that and end up at Stargate. At now Builders, I think. Is it still called Stargate?
Well, I don't know what Stargate is. Well, I'm guessing that
Stargate was the dance club.
So that must be Builders.
And they had cages up top, and girls are going there and dancing in the cage.
So that's wild. You know what that would do if we had stuff like that around here? It would be insane. It would be absolutely insane.
We need to bring it back.
Yeah.
We need
I'll tell you what, if there was a dance place on top of Pier B, that would be like Duluth's Space Needle.
Oh,
like that'd be crazy.
It'd be elite. And you could also, even for just those monies, kind of do what the Garden does. It could be a cool venue for after our wedding. Like, get married at Pier B downstairs, and then eat your dinner, and then the DJ's upstairs.
Sandy, if you're listening, get on it, because you got a gold mine right now.
I would agree. I mean, I don't know what the safety issues of that place would be. I mean, and that's the other thing, too, which I don't understand about this city. Why don't we have rooftop bars?
Yeah, well, dude, I'm going to be honest. If there's anything I mention more than anything, I love cigars. Yeah. When the moment it reached 50, I don't want to be in the house. Like, let me go outside. And I get sometimes it's windy in certain areas, but we have enough places where somebody should have a rooftop bar other than grandma's, because it's too damn cold to go to the up bar. Most nights, even in the summer, it's cold as hell. Yeah. But you get somewhere that got a solid rooftop, especially if you can smoke there, cigars, or even hookah lounge, something like that, I see them in Baltimore everywhere, when I go out to the East Coast.
Well, I think that's why Cowboy Jack survived in downtown Minneapolis after everything. They had their rooftop is the best.
Yeah, the best. Yeah,
it's so fun. Yep. It's huge. They got a cool little bar. They got the walk-in setup with the garage door. You can go in. I think that's great. I think Duluth needs that too, especially if you can. Grandma's did it. I don't know. It's more of like a lounging. Yeah. Like, you need like a bar out there that people are sitting at the bar drinking, having a good time, overlooking the lake, like that kind of stuff.
We got a lot to do.
The checklist is long, and it's going to take time, but these conversations need to happen. Yeah. But they need to be happening in a room with people that are willing to listen.
And that can make the decisions.
And that can make decisions, that can pull a little weight. And, there are people here that want it, and I hear it all the time. Like, all the time. And it's people like myself get a little, like, I don't know, like, down about it, because I feel like even if I went and I said something, I would be like, nah, like, well, the reality is, like, I'm creating jobs here. Yeah. And I want to continue to do that. Like, I'm a voice that you should want to listen to, and other business owners, and yourself, and you, and like everybody that is just like, everyone who gives a shit should be heard and listened to. And I think that's the majority of people in this city. I think we're kind of fed up with a lot of things. Like, again, like regulating over my home that I've purchased, that I own. I can't build a deck on it, or I got to go through, it's just like, I'm not hurting anybody. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's my deck. I don't want to hurt myself.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you have somebody build it out, or you're, I don't care if it's a little step stool. You should be able to, if you want to build it, you should be able to build it. You know what I mean? If you hurt yourself, it's on you. Yeah. You're not going to, if you fall off your deck, you're not going to call the city and sue the city if they came over and inspected.
You should have came and gave me a permit.
It feels like we live in a massive HOA or something.
Yeah, like honestly, the Duluth HOA. 218. 218. Yeah, but yeah, I think there's a lot of things. I want to make Duluth fun again.
Yeah,
I really do.
I'm gonna get that hat. Make Duluth fun again.
Yeah,
it's got to be red because you got to draw the attention.
Yeah, because they go, especially if I got it on.
Oh yeah.
Man, what the?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
All right, I'll get that.
I mean, it's.
I'll talk to my guy.
Yeah, and I think I got to get on. I got to get on the garden. I got to bring back. I got to get Berto-palooza rolling again. Because what Berto-palooza was.
I said, tell them what Berto-palooza.
Yeah, if you didn't know what it was, it started fairly selfishly.
It was after the Old School movie, I'm assuming?
No, this was far before Old School.
For real? Okay.
Oh, yeah. They stole it from me.
Okay.
Mitch-a-palooza.
Yeah.
Give me a break. Berto-palooza was the original. But, yeah, when I was 23, this was a long time ago, I worked at a bar called the Duluth Athletic Club. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah, so I was a bartender there. And
that was the bar, not to interrupt you, and then you got to continue.
Yeah.
We were talking about the bar on the podcast next to the YMCA, and we couldn't think of the name.
Okay, that's what
that was it. Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing place. Mm-hmm. It was the best job I ever had. They were the best owners. Phil and Mike, if you watch this, thought you guys were amazing. They had a great idea. They put 21 North, which was a dance floor that they put up there as well, or like a dance area. Mm-hmm. But they had this back room back there, and I was like, man, like, it's my birthday. I'm going to throw myself a birthday party. If anyone's going to throw a party for myself, I'm going to do it myself. No one's going to do it for me. I'll do it. Well, like, 75 people showed up, and we had the best time. Mm-hmm. It was so fun. And then I was like, my buddy's like, we got to do this every year. Mm-hmm. And I said, all right, we'll do it every year. So the next year following, my buddy was coming. I was like, yeah, Berto-palooza. Mm-hmm. That's what he called it. I was like, fucking genius.
Beautiful.
I love that. This thing needs a name.
Yeah.
It needs to have a name. So I was like, all right, this is cool. From here forward, we're calling it Berto-palooza. And then that year, like 120 people came. Following year, 200, then 400, then 600. We were selling out the Rex within an hour of opening. No one could get in.
Crazy.
like Mike at the Rex had to cut open a window and create another bar just for Berto-palooza. So it just grew and grew and grew, and then a friend of mine, Sarah, her mom got breast cancer, and Sarah Frakes. I don't know if you ever got to meet Sarah Frakes.
I don't think so.
She was a sportscaster in Duluth.
Okay.
And she said, "Hey, let's turn this into something." And I said, "Yes, that's genius." So we started doing it all for breast cancer awareness. So we started raising a bunch of money, charging to get in. Everything went obviously towards breast cancer and the following events. I'm sorry.
You're good. Yeah.
We're all good. So then after, the Rex, I felt so bad because I love Mike, and Mike was always great to me, but I said, hey, unfortunately, this is kind of outgrown. Yeah. The Rex, I need the biggest venue. Mm-hmm. So we went to the Sports Garden, and I brought in pin shows, it was called. I mean, it was like a massive show. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was amazing. I think we had in and out the door like almost 2,000 people. Like it was crazy. So we did it at the Garden for a couple years, and we raised probably over those 3 years probably anywhere between like $40,000 to $50,000 that we got to donate to the Susan G. Komen Foundation, and then from there, they have the Susan G. Komen 3-day walks. I don't know if you've heard about this. You walk 60 miles in 3 days, all for breast cancer. And when you're a man in there, you are a unicorn because it's all women like normally who are doing this. So you're treated just amazing. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it was the most humbling experience for me because you talk to all these women who've gone through these experiences, and it makes Berto-palooza even that much more special to me, that I want to make it even better and raise more money and do all that. But then COVID hit, and I tried to do it at Monolac. Mm-hmm. It ended up kind of raining a little bit. We only brought in a couple hundred people. Mm-hmm. So it just kind of died off after that, which is it's so unfortunate because it was like, I mean, I'll send you the video if you want to put it on this of Berto-palooza. Yeah. I mean, it was just, it became like a Duluth kind of phenomenon of a party. Like I had people that were flying in from all over the world coming to this, and now Stefan's being like, you got to do this again. I want to come back. It was one of the funnest times in my life.
Yeah.
We've got to bring it back. And so I'm going to hopefully reach out to the Garden. Brian,
if you
Brian.
pay attention.
Yeah, we're coming. Because I think that's the only venue that's appropriate.
Yeah.
I think not only to give those college students an experience of what the Garden once was, but it would be a great way for maybe the Garden to create a little money. We can raise a little dough.
Yeah.
And just, again, bring fun back down to Canal Park. I think it's smart. If it goes well, maybe we do it every Saturday down there.
Sounds like a party.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it was just something that created kind of selfishly and organically, and it just turned into something that was something I never thought or expected. It was the best thing ever.
That's fun though, man.
Yeah, it was fun, and I think that the whole idea when we created the video that I was sending was I wanted to bring one to Minneapolis because I have a lot of friends that live in Minneapolis. I thought it would have been really cool, but then again, COVID just kicked me right in the face again. But like you guys come here on stage. That's just the way it's gonna be.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
we going crazy. We going crazy. And we doing that Bayfront. So
I tried it at Bayfront.
Yeah.
I tried it at Bayfront. Again, like it was in between Hairball and I forgot what it was, but it was like the people were like, we're not coming back up to Duluth. You know what I mean? It was between the 4th of July.
Yeah.
It was something. There were two big things on. They
like
slid
the
us in the
blues
middle.
festivals usually.
Yeah, it was. I forgot what it was, but we were like right in the middle of it. So it was a huge crowd for this, huge crowd for this. Some people came up for it. It wasn't great, but again, even if there was a couple hundred people there, 500 people, it looked empty.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because Bayfront's so vast that it was. We ended up losing money that year, which was awful.
And it'd be dope to do it in that park. You know where I do the trunk or treat every year. That parking lot over by Little Angie's.
Yeah.
If say you did it in that big parking lot or something like that, just outdoors and just let people walk around with drinks. Bring some vendors in, beer vendors.
For sure.
That would be crazy.
I mean, and I miss the tents.
Dude, I miss the tents.
So
I don't like it
I don't like it. I don't go.
I don't like it.
None of my friends go. We don't go.
It's terrible.
And again, that's again taking from the business of Canal Park. You're putting all these people so far away. And I'll tell you one thing: like I ran the half marathon. It was the worst experience of my life. I'll never ever do it again. But for those people
5K.
Yeah. Dude, it's a miserable experience.
Oh, that's the 5K.
Yeah, that's what I'm only doing.
Oh, yeah.
Never run 13 miles a day.
That's right.
No, dude, I don't recommend it to anyone. It was awful. But the people that run these marathons, they don't want to walk 5 more blocks or 6 more blocks to go to this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where did they move it to?
To Bayfront. It used to be right in Canal, in the middle in the big parking lot, and it was easy.
Oh, you go from the finish line, click right, go inside and get a Bud Light, which was the best Bud Light I've ever tasted in my life at that moment. It was great. There was everyone stayed in the area. Everyone got to see the businesses. Everyone, because when you're running, you're not paying attention to what's around you. You're just step.
So what they move it for?
I don't know.
So what I heard is they needed space, and they said it was too hard to manage. Like, underage was getting there, blah, blah, blah. Dude, you know how many kids I watched jump the fence this year? When I went to Grandma on a Saturday night, I left only because I seen a lot of our kids from the center. I said, how the fuck, how
told
did you
me
get
about that.
Yes. That night, I'm dead serious, like 50 of them. 15, 16. They had drinks, and I'm thinking, one, get the fuck out before I beat y'all ass, one.
Yeah.
Number two, if this is the only interest you're supposed to get in, how in the world is so many of y'all make it in?
Yeah.
Oh, and I hated it.
If they want to get in, they're going to get in.
They're going to get in. They're going to get in. Hairball, don't get me wrong, I love Hairball's fun. But the amount of kids I saw at Hairball, especially drinking or doing whatever, I can't be around that because I know them all. And I don't want them to ever see me fucked up. That's why I never went to the Palace. Same thing. I think it's more unsafe there than it was because there's only one funnel entrance in Canal.
And then
and it was tight.
Yeah, it was tight. And then if the tents were too busy, people would just go to the Garden.
That's it. Or sit on Little Angie's deck.
Yeah.
That's what we did. Listen to music.
It was completely managed even by other businesses for the overflow. So it wasn't just one thing. It was like multiple people. Like I would keep my bar open.
Oh yeah,
I would be open late.
That would be fun as hell.
Yeah, like I would bring a DJ in there. I would do all that kind of stuff. You're giving opportunities to the surrounding businesses that are hurting. Like I will tell you straightforward. I'm not above begging. We need the people of Duluth to get back down to Canal Park. We need it. We are struggling in that area. I think every restaurant's down like 20%, which is all your margins.
Just big, yeah.
Restaurants, it's fucking big headaches, small small margins. So it's just one of those things where those kind of things would help us. It's like as much as I get Bayfront, like I get it. Like you can put a concert over there, put a local artist over there. That's fine. But like listening to GB Layton, dude, killing it, and under the tents. And if it's raining, it's not a problem because we just get under tents, or you go to the surrounding areas. Yeah. The people that when it rains out in Bayfront, they get in their car and they go.
And home. They leave, yeah.
And they go home.
Yeah. It rains in Canal.
Come back
I'm not leaving.
Walk back.
Yep.
You get out. But if you're there, if you're in the center, you're in the heart of it.
You don't care.
You're just bouncing.
Yep. And you know it's going to rain. I expect it to rain because it rains every freaking year.
Every year.
Every year. So, that's funny.
The last 3 years. Like, we got to change the date.
Yeah, we got to change it.
We got to change the date.
I'm sick of it. No, it's fun.
Like, it was 51 and raining this year. We were giving out free beers for the runners to draw them in. They're coming up. It's freezing. They'd be like, beer. They take the can of beer and they go, all right, see ya. And they leave. I'm like, no, that's all we're doing here. Yeah. But I get it. Like, there's no way you're going to want to be outside. Yeah. And inside's jammed. So like, I get it. Like, the weather. Yeah. That one year it was 40 degrees. Yeah. It was, like, I've never been able to get a seat at Little Angie's on a grandma's Saturday, except for last year and I think the year previous. You know what I mean? It's impossible unless you're not there by 8 a.m. You know what I mean? It's impossible. Yeah. But the last couple of years, just weather permitting, it's been so great for the runners. Great for the runners. Are breaking records. Awesome. Yeah. But for us that want to go and have fun, it's just been miserable. That's why I like the tents. Like you're packed in there, so it's warm. Yeah. And then you get to go under the tent if it's raining. Yeah. So my vote is to bring that back. Yeah, sure. I want it back so bad, and anything I can do. Because even me and Marty were like, all right, if they don't want to do tents, we'll do tents in our parking lot. We'll do it because I think it's needed, and it's better for the surrounding businesses. That again, we are scratching and clawing to get every dime that we can out of that 4 months, because we know down at Canal Park for this time, this is what we call the off season, is a nightmare. It's terrible. We don't want, there's a lot of restaurants in here that have raised their prices to kind of counterbalance that, so the people that they get, their margins go up because they're just charging more. And me and Marty, we said we are not going to make the people pay more money because we decided to open another restaurant. That's not fair, because what we charge in Hermantown has to be, they have to be. Yeah. Or people will just go to that location. Right. Or they'll just go up there. And the idea is we want to draw them down to Canal Park. The area, it turned out beautiful in there. It's really cool in there. Have you been on it? We're going there. That's the one we have to go to for when we do Taste of Import. You should do both. So they can see. Oh, that'd be fun. The contrast, and we'll take care of everything wherever you guys go. Like get something, but it's kind of cool the contrast between the two. Like one is because you have to kind of build around your area of what it's going to be and what you want it to be. Yeah. Like Hermantown, you come in, it's like a warm blanket. Oh yeah, it is. You know what I mean? You feel comfortable. Like there are people that we don't even give a menu to anymore because we know what they're ordering, we know what they want, we know their names. That's like mine. They don't ask no more. She just show up with that. Man, most at the table. Yeah, I'm locked in. Yeah, you know what I'm coming to get. Yeah, so. But in Canal Park, it's like higher ceiling, more industrial. Music's a little louder. You got that. You want that entertainment value out of it. Full bar. We're up there. We only have the mimosa. Yeah. We have a Bloody Mary bar, which people love. Yeah, which is great. I wish we had space for it in Canal. Yeah, that would be cool. But we can't lose tables. Especially on weekends. But up there it works perfectly, and there's just a small amount of cocktails and drinks and beer, where Canal Park is full bar, get anything you want. But yeah, it's like they're two different. We knew that Canal couldn't be Hermantown, Hermantown couldn't be Canal. We knew that. So when we were building it out, we kind of wanted to create that up there, but we were like, nah, it won't work down here. But it's still inviting. The staff is still great. it's still the same kind of standard held at both, but they're just two different vibes. So if you want to come get a little saucy on a Sunday and have a good time, come down to Canal Park, Hermantown. You can get a little saucy, still have a good time. But down here, then you can bounce around. And like we start bottomless brunch today.
Oh, really?
Today's our first day.
What's that bottomless brunch?
Bottomless mimosas, baby. Bottomless.
You can't tell me that.
$25 with an entree.
You gotta understand.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose a whole lot of money.
I'm
good with
I
it.
will drink 3 bottles. Yeah.
Bottomless brunch starts today.
Tell Holly we going soon.
Yeah. It's kind of fun. You can be the first participant about what, because we haven't done a big marketing on it yet, but it started today. We're gonna see how it goes. I think it's just
we gotta hit that hard on the taste too. So that's gonna be fun.
Oh yes.
Well, I've appreciated having you on. We talked about a lot. I love this. This is what I expected. There's so many things I think, even for the listeners, it'd be good to have them here. Because they're probably thinking it,
For sure.
We just bold enough to talk about.
Yeah, we need people to be more outspoken and understand that. You might think you might be in the minority, but you're probably in the majority.
For sure.
And that there's a lot of people. It's out of just care, right?
Yeah.
We care. We give a shit,
That's it.
and we want to see change. We want to see things going not only just for businesses, but the city, and for even the things that we think we can all agree on that aren't great, but we don't want to do it in a terrible way. We want to do it in the right way.
Exactly.
And sometimes what we talked about in the right way is just a little difficult sometimes. But if we all band together as a city and we do it together and we talk to one another and I think because you have like the biggest heart of anyone I've ever met. You know what I mean? So if you're passionate about something, it's always heart leading first, which is can sometimes get us in trouble.
Yeah,
I'm kind of the same way.
I get
We can kind of get us in trouble, but it's always meant in good intention.
Definitely.
And that's why I think you should be a larger part of this city. And I would advise the people who can make that happen should.
Yeah.
Really
definitely.
should.
Yeah.
Because you are a necessity in this city, especially coming from somewhere else and seeing and falling in love with the city and so much, and how much you give back. It should be inspiring to everybody else. So keep doing what you're doing because eventually the waterfall's going to hit and it's going to run over everybody, and people are going to have that same passion that you have.
Yeah.
And it'll impact, I think, and I do think you impact probably more than you even understand.
Yeah.
You're changing lives,
I appreciate it.
which is awesome. I'm just filling bellies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, but we need that though. I can't do it. If I'm hungry, I'm a little cranky. So no, I appreciate it. I'll ask you, this is our last question we ask. I always ask people this. And this is going to be interesting because knowing you and even hearing your story now is, if you can go back and say something to your younger self, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one. Man, I would just say embrace the things that I've gone through instead of rejecting them at an earlier age. I thought a lot of things were happening to me because it was unfairly, when the reality of it is that I think that it was happening for a purpose. I overcame a lot of things growing up, coming from, my economic status of growing up very poor. It was always like, why me? Why me? Sometimes instead of looking at it as like, this is going to benefit me in life. I struggled to be, I never wanted to be like that again. Right? So it pushed me in a lot of ways. So if I go back and, just be like, hey, this is good for you. At the time, it doesn't feel like it. And you get beat up and you get down on yourself. But now that when you look back, you're like, it's who I am. It's created who I am. So anyone who's struggling today, who's watching this, it's like, this is a purpose. This is a purpose. You turn it into something great. And that's, lean on it. Don't run away from it. Run through it. And luckily, I got to an age where I was like, when the bad things were happening, even people around me, I'd gone through it. So I could say, all right, dude, I went through this and look where I am today. Like, I'm doing things I never would have thought possible when I was 12 or 13 years old.
Definitely.
So just never give up. I could have given up 100 times, and I just never did. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, look, I hope y'all take that message. I know that's true for myself and many other people, probably you too. It's you never know when you're in it until you get out and can look back and say, "Damn, every little thing was for a purpose." And I've used damn near all of it, you know.
Yeah.
And if I haven't yet, I'm going to at some point.
Yeah,
so.
the gate's a hell of a lock on the inside. You know what I mean? You gotta want to walk through the door.
Yeah.
You know, you can unlock it if you want to. So
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank y'all for joining us, and like always, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
yeah, thank you.
Yep.